the notorious Tresor. Tresor is the longest running techno club in the whole world, and after almost 30 years in business, they still claim one of the top spots in the scene, with thousands of people heading there every weekend. But what makes this place so special? And how did it get where it is today? Well, you're about to find out. But first, let's take a look at its history, which is one of a kind. During the creation of techno, somewhere in the 80s, there was no freedom in Berlin. There was frustration. That, however, changed when the wall came down in 1989. With that, there arrived a new kind of freedom. A freedom to do whatever you wanted. Because the authorities don't care anymore. Because they simply didn't exist. This came to be the official birth hour of techno. And Tresor, which played a major part in that. Berlin in the early 90s was de facto stateless. There were no laws, because there was no one to enforce them. In that very chaos, Dimitri Hegemann and Achim Kohlberger were looking around all the abandoned buildings in Berlin for a proper place to throw their parties. And did they find one? In March 1991, they made a discovery that would shape an entire subculture. In the basement of an abandoned warehouse, they came across a massive vault. They instantly knew that this was the place. They put up a sound system, a bar, and called it Tresor. Tresor means vault in German. And this cold, hard, and abandoned place was a perfectly fitting location for the hardcore industrial beats of techno. There were hundreds of rusty old safe deposit boxes, metal bars all around, and as an entrance, a 3-ton heavy steel door. Everybody who entered this surreal place was instantly drawn to its overwhelming strangeness that was unlike anything else people had seen before. In a time where people didn't know if the city was going to stay united or would it be taken back, the youth really didn't care. They wanted to celebrate. They formed their own movement and expressed themselves with these techno raves. At this time, there were quite a few illegal clubs popping up in Berlin, but Tresor was the place to be. Over the years, Tresor became the mecca for techno lovers all over the world. During that time, authorities also put the system back in order, and now they did care what people were doing, and they didn't like what they saw at Tresor. After years of fighting with the police, the land plot was bought up by some investors and they were forced out. They had to throw the last party in April 2005. An astounding 14,000 people attended over the course of several days. Everybody thought Tresor was history, but Dimitri Hegemann doesn't want to give up on Tresor. He takes all the interior out and puts it in a new location. They open up 2 years later in an abandoned power plant where it still is today. The only thing he couldn't take was the massive vault door. It was just too heavy. The techno scene changed a lot over the years, and Tresor played a major role in shaping it since the very beginning. How Tresor was founded is not artificially creatable. It's something strange and beautiful that happened in one of the weirdest times in human history. Tresor has done an amazing job in keeping its spirit for a very long time. Today, it unfortunately has become a major clubbing tourist hotspot, filled with people who don't even know what techno is. When Chinese tourists are starting to take pictures of you with their flashlight, something somewhere has gone very wrong, and it's time to move on.